Hey, Bulls and Bears, it is Monday, September 13th, 2021, back for another dose of economic reality. You're not going to believe what these people, I say these people, you're not going to believe what these quote unquote experts are saying is the reason to be concerned about inflation. We're going to talk about it here in just a few minutes. Quick note here before we get started to those that like the outro songs, and not many of you, but a small percentage of you that listen all the way to the end and have said, "Hey, the songs are all right. They're pretty cool." To those of you that like them or love them, some people love them. Some people hate them. But those of you that think they're all right, I put some vocals down. You're going to hear it at the end. But for the full track, if you like the clip that you might hear at the end, down in description. Now, please don't beat up on me too bad. It's the first time I've recorded vocals in many, many years, and I'm just getting back into the swing of it, but it's an outro song I've played here, but now there is vocals. So again, down below in description is the link if you're interested. Let's get into the news today. All right, here we go right here. CNBC article. Someone sent this to me. This was almost a week ago, but I have to just briefly comment on it. A sharp rise in wages is contributing to worries over inflation. Okay, let me repeat that again. So it's not the money printing, it's not the endless lending from the banks, the fiat lending system where endless amounts of money can be created and loaned out to people to then bid up goods, products, and services and cause the rising prices. No, that's not the cause. It's actually you and me getting a higher wage. So the higher wages is what we should be worried about, right? So this increase in wages, we should stop that. We should actually, if this is a concern, we should actually have companies drop wages, right? So if wages is causing the inflation, rising wages, then declining wages should be the cure, right? Simply unbelievable that this kind of stuff is out there. But these are the kind of things that they're trying to convince you that are the problems. Now, will rising wages fix the problem for most people? Well, no, because costs are still rising in the background even faster than what they can raise wages. And what about the people that are not working? What about the people on fixed incomes, retired people, for example? Even if wages were rising as fast as prices, it still would not fix the problem. You still have millions of people left out of the left out in the cold, for lack of a better term. Folks, I think they're putting stuff like this out there because they really want to divert the blame from the real source of the problem. And when we see this economic collapse, when we see people just get obliterated, they're going to lose their 401ks. I wouldn't be surprised if they took their retirement, their monthly payouts for retirement. The money is actually not there unless you count just digits on a screen. The money is not there. Social Security's broke. The banks are broke. The government's broke. They do not have any real money to pay out all of these promises and unfunded liabilities. So they can stop the payouts at any time and they can just finally tell the truth and they can say, sorry, we don't have the money. And let's go back to this. If rising wages are the problem, then I guess taking all that money away from people is going to be the solution. I guess that's going to cause deflation and prices will come back down. The problem is when people have no income, then even low prices is not going to help the people. Next, let's talk about this Fed survey. American households continue to expect rising inflation. So maybe people are finally waking up to what's happening. Right? How many years did we hear from quote unquote experts? Oh, the stock market's going to crash, the housing market's going to crash. Well, not everyone declared themselves as experts, but a lot of alternative economists and YouTube economists have been predicting a crash for years when in the background they can create inflation even beyond what we're seeing today. You may not believe that, you may find it impossible, but it's true. Prices can go up even higher. And now I think a lot of more people, according to the survey, a lot more people are finally starting to catch on to the game. The New York Fed noted in August the median expectation rate of inflation over the next year increased to 5.2%. We know really it's a lot worse than that when you look at everything that most people have to buy or pay for. That was the highest seen since the survey was launched back in 2013. So are people waking up? Well, I really hope so, but I don't think it's going to be enough people to make a difference. Maybe we'll have to see. Article here out of Reuters: zippers to glass, shortages of basic goods hobble the U.S. economy. How sad and pitiful is it that we can't even manufacture just basic goods here in the U.S., right? So things are made so cheaply overseas that it costs less to ship it thousands of miles over on a cargo ship versus just manufacturing those items here. And that's where you need to have a low cost of living, no or little inflation, and therefore the wages that are demanded to meet the rising cost of living, it's not necessary. So companies would want to manufacture here. But instead, this is a purposeful obliteration of US jobs. It's been happening for decades, but now we're finally starting to see the direct visible cause. Well, I should say you and I know. A lot of the people, most of the people, unfortunately, don't know. Everything's being blamed on the shutdowns and the illness, right? And you could say the word scapegoat, and that would be pretty accurate as far as telling about what's happening in this economy and what's being blamed for all the economic issues right now. Oh yeah, don't forget rising wages. Rising wages are bad. They're going to cause inflation. Technically, when people have more money to spend, it will cause rising prices. But when you don't manufacture anything, guess what? You're going to have shortages and more demand, more people buying less products, rising prices. Either way, it's a no-win ballgame. Next, NBC article, NBC News. Americans' creditworthiness and your 401k are on the line until lawmakers approve a new debt ceiling. So here we are again with this fear that the lawmakers need to come and rescue us. They need to pass this debt ceiling and have the debt ceiling increased again until the next time. Then they'll talk about it all over again. So in the meantime, we've got all these people out there, they're nervous. Oh no, my 401k is going to crash if the debt ceiling doesn't get increased, right? If the U.S. government can't spend money, they can no longer fund all the payouts to the people will be broke, and the stock market's going to crash. It'll be a disaster. People will lose their retirement. So you see what's happening here? So now they've got you begging the lawmakers to pass the debt ceiling. So it's almost like you're held hostage with the 401k, that you can't get out of your 401k. You can't pull it out unless you pay a penalty or unless you're retiring, or in some cases you leave your job, you can pull it out without a penalty for just reasons. But this is the kind of stuff they're putting out there. So now they have people begging these lawmakers to come and save us from the debt ceiling not getting increased. Right? It's ever increasing amounts of debt in order to keep this Ponzi scheme economy rolling along. What do you think about it? Please let me know. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay well, stay safe, stay positive. Until next time.